What a beautiful fall day. And what do we have here? Guys, this is my 2017 BMW 440i X-Drive 6-speed manual. And I've been posting about this car on TikTok for a little bit, but this is the first video I'm going to make on YouTube. Today, I'm going to be replacing the PCV valve. And lucky for me, this is not a TU. This is a first generation B58. As you can see, this is not stock. I have an upgraded cold air intake. And I recently just changed this O2 sensor upstream. Unfortunately, I got one off A Premium and it didn't come with a heat shield. So I'm a little worried about, but I think I'm gonna get a heat shield for it down the line. Now, this right here, this has to be replaced. And I'll give you a few reasons why I think this is the root of all evil for whatever my car is going through. And it's not in, the worst condition. It could definitely be worse. But based on the research I've done, I do think that the PCV is the cause of the issues I'm experiencing. I had 3 codes. I have a P0440, which is the gas cap thing, I'm pretty sure, because I've seen it go away before and it comes back at gas stations occasionally. So I'm not worried about that. But I used to have a P112F. Now, I had the original airbox in this car and I smoke tested it. And I found a leak in the airbox, so that's why I went ahead and I replaced it with this aftermarket cold air intake. It makes nice noises, but that code was gone. They didn't come back. And what happens with my car is that when you start it on idle, it's cool, it's fine, whatever. If you give it a little bit of gas, I'm talking if the idle is 700-800, if you give it 850 to 1100 RPMs worth of throttle, this thing, when the RPMs come back, they go down, they go low, they dip under idle. And back in the day, I think before I replaced this, what happened was, because of that leak, it added extra, it was an extra problem. What would happen was the car would just stall. The RPMs would get so low and it would just stall. The car would just straight up shut off. Now, I do have another problem right here, this tensioner. This tensioner is bad. It is really bad. It shakes and squeaks a lot, but, forget about that for now. I'm focusing on this problem right here. And it's a pretty cheap and easy fix for the B58 Gen 1. But back to what I was talking about. I changed the O2 sensor next because I read it. I read the PID and it was a little lazy. It was a little delayed. If I were to give it some gas, that O2 sensor would take a little while just to get back to idle readings. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and replace it. Why not? So that was a pretty easy fix. But now, after doing some researching and after doing a little experiment, I'll throw up a video. Alright guys, pay attention to this hissing sound because we're going to compare it after we change the PCV. I removed the oil cap and I took it off. Now, I heard a hissing noise. In the video, you'll hear the hissing noise. There's a hissing noise and a medium vacuum pulling it down, not letting me lift it up. And once I take that oil cap off, you'll be able to see that the car RPMs drop. The car starts becoming rough. It idles rough. It's handling bad. And the second I put it back on, the RPMs rise, and then it stables out when the oil cap's back on. And there should not be that much pressure in the crankcase. After doing some research and looking online, the most likely root cause of that is the PCV right here, this PCV valve. Now, the B58, as I keep mentioning, the Gen 1s, they have it right here. Now, if you have M340, M440, or anything with the TUs, basically, the TUs have this built in to the valve cover. So you would have to replace this entire valve cover just to replace that PCV valve. And thankfully for me, I don't have that issue. All right, so I got the part right here, and just like when I replaced the fuel tank breather valve, I didn't get an OEM. I got one from Amazon. This was about 10 bucks. Yeah, I think they're all pretty much the same, because if it's not already in the BMW, if you buy it after that, it's definitely gonna come from China. So let me open this up real quick. Boom. There you have it. This is it. This is what we're replacing today, and I hope the spring, because people I've seen have online, they have problems with the spring. It's not like exactly the same spec, but you know, if the spring is bad, most likely I just keep the existing spring. That's no problem. The main thing, I don't want to get this dirty or anything, but the main thing is the diaphragm, I think is what it's called. But this rubber piece, this thing, it gets slits and it cracks or it tears, and what happens is that the car can't hold a nice vacuum or hold all that pressure or whatever. I have not started the car maybe 2 days. I know I have prior to somewhere, but at the moment I don't know where they are, so I'm just gonna go at it with some flatheads and see if I can get this thing off. Now, I'm not too worried if I crack it, because you know, I obviously have a new cover, so if it cracks, you know, who cares, whatever. But as long as it comes out and it doesn't break anything else, you know, that's the main thing. Oh, well, I cracked it. Let's see, I don't want to break anything else in the process. That's my main thing. Okay, and we have got it out, and I can already see a tear. Look at that. All right, let's take this thing out. I can already, oh, look at that oil, man. Here's that spring. This up, and let me show you guys what I see, because damn, was I spot on with that. Okay, so I'm actually pretty happy right now, because this does seem like a problem. Now, what do you guys see right there? What does that look like to you? That is a big old tear in this diaphragm or whatever it's called. I mean, I think it's even more visible from this side. You can tell right there, it's a little cut. So yeah, no wonder I was having whatever issues I was having. Also, like, in worst cases that I've seen online, when this thing is completely destroyed, a lot of oil gets left in the manifold, I'm pretty sure is what actually happens. I'm no BMW technician or vehicle technician, but a lot of oil gets left in the manifold, and when you start the car the next time, a lot of that oil gets burnt off and you see it through your exhaust. I mean, for me, it wasn't very thick smoke, but it's still a lot of white smoke that comes out, and it's not that good smoke, you know what I'm saying? That good smoke comes out a little bit after. It smells like fresh. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but yeah, no, this definitely seems like this was the problem. I mean, wow. All right, now that we got that out, I'm gonna get a rag, I'm gonna clean my hands, and I'm gonna put this new PCV valve cover, diaphragm, whatever, in the motor. Right now, I do have my little brother who's with me. He'll be coming in a second, but basically, one of the ways to ensure that this diaphragm rubber piece is on there correctly and properly is you place it down and one person holds on it while you start the car, and once you start the car, that pressure should hold it down and it will go into its place. Then you can slap that cover back on just to ensure that it's in the right position. Might as well, since I have an extra person with me. All right, I'm gonna put this on like so. Oh, you're gonna feel a suction, by the way. Don't get scared. Well, that was a cold start, and as you can see, this thing is now fully installed. Let me try. and it's not going anywhere. As you guys know, BMW engines tend to run a little on the hotter side, so I'm gonna let this engine sit for 30 to 45 minutes, let it cool down again, and then I'm gonna come start again, do the quick oil cap test, and see if my theory was correct. As you can see, it's been a while. It's almost dark out. The sun is already almost set. So let's see if this thing is still hot. Touching the turbo area because this is where the most heat. I mean, since I'm able to touch it without burning myself, clearly it's cooled down. I'm gonna give it a full start. I'm gonna let it idle for a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a throttle body reset, and that's pretty simple, honestly. I'll just show you right now. Actually, before that, I'm gonna go ahead and reset all codes. This is the code. All right, I'm gonna erase these codes real quick. Erase done. I'll unplug this. All right, so the throttle body reset is pretty simple. 30 seconds, ignition on. Just let it sit like that for a little. Hear that humming noise? After 30 seconds, let's give this thing a proper cold start. Sorry for the mess, this car is pretty dirty right now. A lot of smoke, but I really hope that this works out and, you know, the oil cap test passes, because I just want to, you know, this is my last point of confirmation to make sure that this works. I'm going to put my lights off real quick. I just want the angel lights on. These are way too bright. All right. Now it is just those beautiful angel eyes. All right. Piston there.
The hissing sound is a good indication of being able to tell whether your PCV is good or bad. Before we changed the PCV, the hissing was much quieter as compared to now when we changed the PCV. That means there's a real vacuum and there's real suction happening in that crankcase. There's no leaks.
Alright guys, typically what would happen when I give a rev, very low throttle rev, what would happen is that the car would come back down to idle, dip below, almost stall, sometimes even stall. So let's just test it out, see what happens. Okay, a little bit of a dip, very tiny dip. Pretty stable. I think another thing I also noticed is that the idle RPM is a little lower. Typically it would stay a little higher around, typically it would be around like here. But right now it's chilling like right above 500. It's pretty good. It's raining pretty hard, and I just came back from a drive maybe 10-15 minutes ago. I forgot to record the drive, but damn. But overall, I think it was worth it. I think there was a pretty big improvement, pretty big difference. Damn, I might have to go inside. Oh, damn, it's raining hard. Bro, I do think this really helped and improved. Even if this wasn't the fix to all my problems, it definitely was still busted, so I'm glad I did it, but it did improve the idle a lot. I noticed it. Cars running smoother at the lower RPMs. The issue was always at the lower RPMs. When the car is higher RPMs or it's pushing, you know, you don't really feel it as much because there's all that air already going in. But the lower RPMs, it gets, like, the car modulates and balances a lot. So overall, I'm pretty glad that I did this whole thing. It was pretty cheap. It's cost me $10 and maybe like 10 minutes of work. You know, not even. It was really quick actually. So I'll be uploading more on this channel. I'll try to get more videos up, try to do more mods of the car. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.